All right, Marketeer of the Week is kind of the opposite of this.
It's a rebuttal.
This is a great piece by Jimmy Burgess, who's doing great content on his YouTube and on Inman. We've talked about Jimmy before. Jimmy, congrats. You're the Marketeer of the Week. I think he's been the Marketeer before. 7 things that must decrease for your business to increase. So another list. Let's go through it. Number 1, thank you for saying this.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for finally being the person who says what needs to be said, especially coming out of this market the last 2 years. Number 1 thing you should decrease so your business increases is your ego. Everybody has one, me included. If you've watched the show, maybe you think I've got a pretty big one. But what I'm seeing in real estate is that there are far too many 2 to 4 year real estate professionals who have done 20 to 40 closings who all of a sudden think they're the expert in the industry. And they're trying to coach up agents for free, maybe even on their knowledge in the business, right? And they're now trying to be the recruiter into their thing or whatever. Get to 100 closings.
Yeah.
Put your head down and work.
Or they're so intent on being some sort of influencer on Instagram where
take the ego out of it. You've done 25 closings. Congratulations.
Right. That means you paid your bills.
Great.
That means you paid your bills.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Get to 100. Have a database of people who really trust and respect you, and then go stack another 100 on top of it. Leave the ego to the side. Go talk to a 30-year agent who's done 50, 75, 100 transactions a year for multiple decades, year in and year out, and they're going to laugh at the 25 deals that took you 2 years to do. Mm-hmm. So, and if you're this agent, this is not me hating on you. No. I'm not trying to be a prick. This is a little tough love.
Well, and it's important because of this shift. Again, a lot of these agents haven't been in a shift like this. They've been riding the up wave and are going to have a heck of a time riding the down wave if they stay there for sure.
The last 2 years are not the next 2 years.
Right.
So the success you had is only earned if you go and do the work.
Right.
Okay, so keep your head down. Do the basics, do the right thing over and over again. If you're that agent that in the last 2 years has only closed 12 deals a year each year, you might be thinking about, who am I spending my time with? Who am I surrounded by?
Right.
You know, is my ego need to be put in check? When I go to a seller's house, a buyer's house, am I the most professional version of me serving them?
Right.
Because that's putting your ego to the side and making it all about them.
Of course.
All right. Number 2, Jimmy, you hit it again. The amount of time you waste.
The amount of time you waste.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want it in this business, how much time are you spending?
Licking an envelope.
Yeah. Or licking the ice cream scoop while you're watching Netflix.
The scoop.
You know, the scooper. Just right out of the carton.
Not even a spoon in a bowl?
Just the scooper to the mouth. You know,
savage.
How much licking are you doing?
Too much licking going on.
You could be licking other things that
no.
might not get you any business.
No business.
The amount of time you waste.
Or maybe it does get you business.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's the way you want to get your business.
Fear of the phone.
Big one, right? We're talking about expanding the pipeline. That's the theme of this show. If you're not getting on the phone, if you're not making calls. Okay, in 2012, when there was only... We'll go back to that number that we talked about, when there was only 4.6 million existing home sales that happened, and there was like conversations over and over and over again with sellers, reduce the price. That's how we're going to get more showings.
Yeah.
You had to make about 40 to 50 conversations to equal a closing, Nicole. And then last year when you had to write 5 offers and everything was multiple offers, guess what? You still had to make 40 to 50 conversations to equal a closing. And in this shifting market, you're still going to have to make 40. This number doesn't change. 40 to 50 real estate related conversations to equal a closing. Get on the phone, get over the fear, and just call people and say, hey, what can I do for you? Can I help? I'm a real estate professional. Right. I'm committed to this community. I love this market. I love this town. What can I do for you? Shut up and listen.
I think what's super interesting too is that if we go back to 2012, first of all, there wasn't Instagram. I had barely even Facebook then, where now it's even easier for you to be connecting with these people to then arrange a time to even meet or have a conversation. So, I mean, there's the ability to actually have conversations is easier.
Jimmy says, do you want more income? Make your calls. Do you want more listings?
Make
more
more
calls
calls.
to homeowners. It's all about the calls. It's all about the conversations. Love this one, Jimmy.
Well,
Jimmy
he's
Burgess,
saying your time. He's saying decrease.
He is. Is he saying
decrease in order to increase? He's saying
all right. So I'm going to call this.
a
racket.
Office.
Oh yeah, decrease your
Yes.
time in the office.
Yes.
Okay, Jimmy, I'll call a racket on this. I thought you were going Elon on me and saying get back into
He's
the
saying
office.
get where the people are.
I agree. Okay, so here's where I agree with that. Get out into the playing field,
Right.
the open house, the showing,
Yep.
the dining room table, the having coffee with somebody who wants to understand the buying process and you're going to explain it to them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Increase that time exponentially.
Yep.
But your administrative work, the work that you need to get done, the writing of offers, the whatever, you should get your butt back in the office and stop tricking yourself that you're more productive at home. There isn't many people that are more productive at home. So agree with you, get on the playing field. But when you need that office time, when you need that tunnel vision commitment to make my calls,
Well, he's agreeing
get
with
into
you
a
there.
work environment.
There's a purpose. He said there's a time and a purpose to be in the office.
All right. Love it.
Decrease your less effective,
Effective marketing. Okay. So if you've done direct mail for the last 12 months, the last 24 months, how much money have you made from it?
Right.
If you're ROI negative, decrease that. Start making calls, okay? Start doing the things that are going to absolutely, like, you hear people sometimes say, I hate Zillow leads because they take so much money. Well, how much money do you make off of them? Maybe increase those opportunities for yourself, right? Your time spent with buyers versus sellers. Nicole, your thought on that?
My business started with buyers.
Yeah.
I think it depends on where your business is
Stage
at.
of the business.
Yeah, I mean, goodness.
Yeah.
I would have fallen on my face if I was relying solely on sellers at the beginning of my business.
Yeah.
Even the first 5, I would even say the first 6-7 years of my business.
Do you remember back in those years when there was only 4 million home sales, how valuable it was to have a buyer who's ready to transact?
Yeah, I mean, and you were getting 2 people at an open house and you were swooning over them.
So I do call racket on that one a little bit. And then the last one, Jimmy says, your passivity, being passive, decrease that. I used to have in my bio.
You used to be passive?
No, I used to say in my bio, I am the most aggressive agent in Connecticut type of thing, right? And so
you don't do that anymore?
People would be like, buyers and sellers don't like aggressive. Well, back then, the people that couldn't get their house sold, they were calling me saying, hey, you say you're aggressive. I need aggressive. Come over and talk. I used to get calls just having that tagline in my bio.
Was that your first line?
Yeah, it was the first line.
It was
a bold statement. Like, I am the most aggressive agent in the market.
Amazing.
It was just
amazing.
like, I'm the best.
I'm the best.
So there's a difference between being confident and backing it up and then having an ego.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to be clear on that because we were talking about ego.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between that. Make a bold statement that makes you different from your market.
As long as you're going to follow through with it, though.
And then, by the way, when you go meet that person, hey, this guy is aggressive. He's really getting after it. Then when you go meet with them, you show up on time, which is 5 minutes early, with your materials ready to go, prepared, iPad, paper, have both options. Is this a paper person? Is this an iPad person, right? Looking my first 3 years before I had a name for myself, I wore crappy suits from Joseph A. Bank that just aged me up, made me look the part. And then when I had
they fit though. They have to fit.
They have to fit.
They have to fit.
And I got them fitted. But I'm just saying, crappy suit, they're not that expensive, right? They were $150 each or whatever. And then when I had 50 listings to my name and people knew I was a player, well, then I started wearing still professional clothing, but clothes that I wanted to wear because I had the leverage. I was getting the listing no matter what I wore. But in the beginning, if you're not a listing agent, you don't have 10 plus listings every single month, you might want to think about going over the top with your professionalism and leaving your ego to the side of like, well, I like wearing my, shirt with the mountains on it because I like mountains.
The mountains
if
on it?
If they don't like me for who I am,
so much for a 15-minute show.
Then I don't want to work with them.
We're talking about mountains on T-shirts.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. I called for a short real word today, and that Bobby, has it happened?
We're at 30-minute, 15
Yeah,
All right.
you like to talk about mountains on t-shirts.
If you want me to reduce the amount that I talk, leave a comment below.
We love when you talk.
All right.
Especially when it's about
You know what you
Tomo.
can do to turn this into a 15-minute episode or any real words is listen to them on 2x speed.
Yeah?
You can do that on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. I like listening to 2x speed.
I don't know. I think my voice would be even more obnoxious.
Well, what do you think I was on this episode? 84% of the words?
I think you did well. I think you did well. I think you did like 90. I think you did like 95.
90. That would be, that'd be bad. All right.
No, what do you mean?
All right. So let us know, what are you decreasing? What are you increasing? Love these topics. Do you think that we're going to be as low as 4.6 million sales next year? Do you agree with Fannie Mae? Let us know. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you guys.
Keep it real. Hey guys, appreciate you checking out this episode of The Real Word. If you want the full episode, go over to the Broke Agent YouTube. That's where we're hosting the full podcast. If you want to continue to see the segments broken out and the short clips, stay right here on The Real Word YouTube.